on NBC.
Good evening, I'm Brian Latham.
And I'm Tambry Lane. Thanks for joining GTN News. The not guilty verdict in the Casey Anthony trial is triggering a public outcry, but at least one alternate juror says the prosecution didn't prove its case. Karen Brown reports from Orlando, where a crowd is already gathering for tomorrow's court appearance.
People are already lining up to get a seat for Casey Anthony's sentencing. Many can't believe she was cleared of murdering her daughter, Kaylee.
She's probably going to take this to her grave. Maybe someday she's going to wake up and realize, I got to come forward.
Russell Heckler was an alternate juror.
It was the right decision.
He says the prosecution did not prove Kaylee was murdered.
They didn't show us how Kaylee died, and that was important. No one could answer that.
Heckler believes there was some sort of horrific accident.
Overall, I think the family knows a lot more than what came out at the trial.
The judge will sentence Casey Anthony on 4 misdemeanor charges of lying to police. She's already spent nearly 3 years in jail, so many legal experts predict she'll be set free for time already served.
She'll be taken to a location apparently at her designation in Central Florida.
It's not clear if Anthony's parents will help their daughter.
The family dynamics are now completely in upheaval. I mean, this is a girl who doesn't have a car or a pair of shoes or anything. Where is she going to go? Everyone hates her so much.
Anthony's lawyers implicated her father in Kaylee's death, saying he staged a cover-up when she drowned. Her parents released a statement that said the verdict was fair, but have yet to speak to their daughter. Karen Brown, CBS News, Orlando.
Anthony was convicted of 4 misdemeanor counts of lying to investigators. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 1 year. Well, there's no shortage of opinions out there. Some of you feel very strongly about the verdict. Here's what some of your neighbors are saying here in Gainesville.
It was so clear that she did it, because I don't know any mother that would go out partying after her daughter is missing or not report it, that everyone just believed it. And when they found out that jury verdict, everyone was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a big case. It's nationwide, everyone's following it. So people get like emotionally invested. We probably have nothing better to do, so.
Again, Casey Anthony's sentencing is tomorrow. We'll have that plus reaction tomorrow night on GTN.
Most of us can't live without our cell phones, and there's nothing more annoying and potentially dangerous than not having reception when you need it the most. The city of Gainesville has a solution to that problem, but as GTN's Venice Toussaint tells us, not everyone is thrilled about it.
Imagine being in an emergency and having no reception to call for help.
It's frustrating, and I think especially somewhere like the park, with kids running, if they were to fall, you'd need to be able to make a call.
People living near Westside Park in Gainesville say they're fed up with poor cell phone reception, but they aren't big on the city solution either. A 170-foot cell phone tower right in their backyards.
I know some of the neighbors have some concerns about it being an eyesore, being unsightly.
The city hasn't decided exactly where in the Westside Park they'll put the cell phone tower, but they say it's likely to be here between the pool and the baseball field.
Back in 2003, the city was approached about the need for a cell tower somewhere in that location. The city commission at that time considered it, and after a year's worth of discussion, decided to table the idea.
7 years and several debates later, the issue is back on the table. Now they're reconsidering an offer from a tower company with a payoff that's hard to refuse.
The city will actually possibly have a generation of up to $70,000 or so each year for using that facility for the tower.
Most people are envisioning a big, bulky eyesore like this one. But that's not so. City officials say the one they're considering is much easier on the eyes.
A single monopole. They talked about camouflaging the base. They also talked about actually painting the tower itself to aesthetically blend in with the area surrounding it.
Whatever they decide, people here at the park say safety is their main concern.
If reception's an issue, I could see why having the tower closer would be a good thing.
Venice Toussaint, GTN News, working for you.
And the commission will hear a proposal from TowerCom at tomorrow's meeting, followed by a series of citizen meetings to get your feedback. If approved, the tower will be completed next year.
Well, some typical summer weather in Gainesville these days. Here's meteorologist Kyle Dennis live in our weather center with tonight's first alert weather. Kyle.
And there were some storms out there today, Tambry. None of them hit us here in Gainesville. No rain recorded officially here in Gainesville. We did see quite a bit in Levy County, up towards Dixie County as well. You can see the remnants of that storm. And it's continuing to wind down now. Not much left on the map locally. There are some more storms lingering up towards north, also down towards the south, an area of storms that we're keeping our eye on. I'll talk more about that coming up. Noontime tomorrow, 88 with some isolated storms, and I think a better chance around 5 o'clock and up to 91. Tambry?
Kyle, thanks. As NASA's space shuttle program winds down, we have a treat for you. John Zarella went on board Shuttle Discovery and shows us images you won't see anywhere else.
Welcome aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Thank you, Commander.
So we're on the middeck right now.
These days, Bob Cabana runs the Kennedy Space Center. Before that, he just happened to be an astronaut. Flew in space 4 times, twice as pilot, twice as commander. His first 2 trips, he was pilot of Discovery. He knows every inch.
Got how many seated on the middeck?
Well, if you're flying a crew of 7, you've got 3 folks down here, so 1 there and 2 more over here.
Right.
Sitting here, Cabana is reminded of a liftoff on Endeavour.
That whole ascent, I mean, what a ride. Just a sense of speed and acceleration.
Okay, there's main engine start. Pretty soon you'll see the SRBs. A lot of shaking and vibrating.
You're pushed back in your seat in the last minute, you know, you hit that 3G acceleration again, and you're at 3 Gs, and it's hard to breathe, and then all of a sudden you hit MECO, and it's like, boom, and you come forward in your seat like that.
You really know you're going to space.
Discovery is the first vehicle being retired. When all the cleanup is done, stuff like Freon, ammonia, cryogenics, and pyrotechnics, she'll be turned over to the Smithsonian. Not easy, says Stephanie Stilson. For 11 years, her job as flow director was to make sure Discovery was ready to fly. Her job now, make sure Discovery is museum ready.
And we do think of Discovery as a family member. We've taken care of her for all these years, and it's going to be hard for many people to realize that we're no longer responsible for that someone else has to do that for us. So it's going to be a big change for some folks.
Stilson always dreamed of being a launch director. No woman has ever held that job. But for now, NASA has nothing for her to launch. Back on board.
Hey, let's go take it back and let's go to the airlock.
Sure, we'll take a look in the airlock.
Crawl about 12 feet.
I'm going to drag his cables in, too.
On the other end is the shuttle's cargo bay, spacious enough to hold a school bus. Over the 39 flights of Discovery, dozens of astronauts in spacesuits have been at this exact vantage point, waiting to step out to repair a satellite or build the space station.
I'll just remember when we landed, I did not want to get out of the commander's seat. I mean, the ASP is trying to get me out, you know, and it's like, this is my spaceship. You can't have it. You know, I didn't want it to end. You know, I just wanted it to go on. It was great.
And now it really has.
The final space shuttle launch is set for Friday morning. If the weather cooperates, Atlantis will lift off at 11:26.
Still to come on GTN, a new threat to airline security. The government's warning airlines that suicide bombers might be ready to try new tactics. What that means for you the next time you fly.
And a brazen attempt to bust her husband out of jail. What a woman in Mexico tried to do and nearly got away with.
If you have a news tip, call GTN News at 331-4GTN or email us at news@mygtn.tv.
Hi, this is Freddie Wiebe, owner of the 8 Gainesville Domino's. We're proud that you've made us the #1 pizza choice. Big reason for our success is our advertising, like our decision to partner with the Gainesville Television Network and our GTN News. Our Domino's sponsorship of Joe Gervin's GTN Sports has helped us build our brand. Bottom line, Gator Domino's and GTN News both deliver.
Thanks, Freddie. Gotta go.
Hey!
When it rains on our cities, the water flows into what we drink. The Arbor Day Foundation invites you to plant trees in your community, so the water that flows into our rivers and streams will be clean and safe. Visit arborday.org to find out how to plant the right trees in the right place and support Tree City, USA.
machines can't eat it, machines shouldn't make it. And that's just the way it is. The new hand-breaded chicken filet sandwich from Hardee's.
If you have a story for GTN News, call the newsroom now or email us at news@mygtn.tv.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of Mid-Florida has been serving the children in our community for over 35 years. By providing positive role models to at-risk youth, we make a big difference, one child at a time.
My big brother helps me with school. My big sister listens to my problems.
Help us help these children.
This great cause needs your support.
Will you be my big sister?
Working for you. GTN meteorologist Kyle Dennis with your first alert forecast.
Well, it turned out not to be such a bad day today. 95 for the high, so it was a hot one. Not terribly hot, certainly not oppressive. We've seen worse than that this summer. 91 is the normal high, about 4 degrees above normal today, running about 5 to 10 degrees depending on your location above normal today. 99 was the record high. Normally we see record highs this time of year in the triple digits. So 95 for the high, not a terrible day. And we stayed dry, at least here in Gainesville. We did see clouds passing from time to time. Most of the storms stayed confined to the north, and we saw some off towards the south as well. Notice the southern part of the state under a lot of cloud cover, and we're seeing this cloud cover down over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, over Cuba and the Bahamas as well. A very large area of cloudiness and some disorganized showers and thunderstorms, but there is a small chance that this could develop into a more organized tropical system over the next 48 hours. We're keeping our eye on it, but right now it does not look like a major threat. 78 right now here in Gainesville, 82 in Valdosta, 78 in Cross City. Ocala coming in at 82 as well, and a nice cool 79 right now up in Jacksonville. It's a good beach day today. It stayed dry out on the east coast. Back towards the west, we did see some storms in Dixie County. We saw a little bit down in Levy County as well. Gilchrist County saw some storms. So here in the Gainesville area, most of the storms to the west. Alachua County hardly saw anything today other than a couple of sprinkles in the northern part of the county. Now we're dry up towards the north as well. We saw quite a few storms up towards Tallahassee. Those have now fizzled out. And still a couple storms up in Georgia, the Atlanta area, southeastern Georgia as well. And again, we're still watching this cluster of storms in the southern part of the state and down over Cuba and the Bahamas. Again, not looking like a big threat, but something to keep our eye on. Future weather showing some clouds overnight tonight. Going to be somewhat clearing out. We can maybe get those clouds to break up a bit in the morning, but not completely clearing out. So it doesn't look like a whole lot of sunshine tomorrow, and it does look like we're getting back into a more widespread outbreak of showers and storms, according to Future Weather Computer. As we make our way into the day on Friday, I think even a better chance. And notice towards the south and west near Cross City, we're seeing a little yellow popping up on Future Weather, a sign that maybe we could be in for an isolated strong or severe storm around the middle part of the day on Friday. But those will clear out of here, and even though I can't rule out a storm on Saturday or Sunday, they'd be more of the passing variety, so I think most of the weekend is looking okay. 72 for the low, so a mild night. The clouds prevent us from cooling off too much. Still could be an isolated thunderstorm around. Most of them are winding down now. Easterly wind tonight at 5 to 10. Tomorrow, 93 for the high. Easterly wind continues around 5 to 10. A little bit in the way of morning sunshine, not a whole lot, but we do see those clouds thicken up the middle part of the day, leading to some scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. But again, a better chance of those storms on Friday, and that's when we could see an isolated strong or severe storm around the middle part of the day. 92 degrees for the high then, 93 on Saturday. Still a couple isolated storms around. I think maybe a better day on Sunday. Still can't rule out a storm even into Sunday and Monday, but the chance diminishes as we move through the weekend.
Looks like there's a good chance the shuttle won't get off the ground as scheduled either.
Yeah, it looks like Friday might be a little rough going.
We'll let you know. Kyle, thanks. Well, take a look at this, something most of us don't see every day for sure. It's a giant wall of dust moving through Arizona. It's called a haboob. Meteorologists say it packed winds of up to 69 miles an hour, close to hurricane strength.
Smuggling, but not drugs and not weapons. A woman in Mexico was caught trying to smuggle her husband out of a jail in a suitcase. Following a conjugal visit, police noticed the woman leaving from the main entrance looking nervous with an extra bulky rolling suitcase. Inside, they discovered her husband, an inmate at the prison. He was immediately returned to his cell, and 19-year-old woman is now facing multiple charges. Terrorists determined to get bombs onto airplanes might be focusing on a different tactic, surgically implanting explosives inside people.
Now, federal officials are warning airlines to be on the lookout, but are quick to say there's no indication an attack is imminent. Sandra Hughes has more.
A law enforcement source tells CBS News Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula wants to recruit a surgeon who can implant explosives into the bodies of suicide bombers in order to blow up an airplane. The Transportation Safety Administration has alerted airlines and is warning passengers expect more security delays. But officials emphasize there is no evidence of a specific plot.
This is not a new theory. It's not a new musing from the terrorists, but with this warning, it seems to suggest that there is more chatter.
The TSA says the increased security measures will vary from airport to airport, designed to be unpredictable. Airport security personnel have been told to watch for someone who may be acting out of the ordinary, possibly in discomfort or pain from an implanted device.
I think it will be difficult to detect using sort of basic technology that we have, the X-ray scanners or the backscatter machines.
But experts say implanted bombs are not always effective. In 2009, a suicide bomber sat across from Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Nayef at his palace and detonated himself. His body acted as a buffer and he only slightly injured the prince. For flyers like Suska Guis, it's just one more thing to worry about when she travels. Do you have concerns, though, that that terrorists seem to just keep coming up with ways to try to target us?
Absolutely, yes.
And officials say on that level, Al-Qaeda is successful, keeping Americans fearful of what the terror group will do next. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Terror experts say Al-Qaeda also targets air travel because it forces the U.S. government to spend more money on security measures. Well, still ahead tonight, Joe is talking Gator football with one of the sport's leading publishers.
Plus, Jeremy has highlights from the Women's World Cup, including a former Gator getting in on the action.
This is GTN News, working for you in Alachua, Keystone Heights, High Springs, and Chiefland.
I'm really worried. One of my friends is living on the street.
I know someone who can help.
Who?
1-800-RUNAWAY.org. They help kids having a rough time at home, in school, or on the street. Trust the National Runaway Switchboard. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
I'm looking to
control your budget?
Yes.
Our Name Your Price tool shows you a range of options. You pick a price that works for you.
Perfect. Only one thing could make this better. 80s montage!
Helping you save. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
Mode Salon, 2 locations, 1 culture. Choose your experience. Our mission at Mode Salon is to inspire and be inspired by the world around us. What makes us different? Our experience, education, and expertise. Our team has traveled nationally and internationally, bringing their experience and innovative techniques to you. Passion, reputation, organic, globally, locally. We are Mode Salon. Visit us at either our east or west location. Official salon of GTN News.
You're watching the 11 o'clock edition of GTN News on NBC9. GTN Sports is brought to you by Gator Domino's.
I've been working at a Domino's store since 1986. I bleed for this company. But this carryout deal, ridiculous.
The deal is you can get large 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 carryout Monday through Wednesday.
That's crazy.
I'm not crazy.
This pizza's worth at least twice what we're charging for it.
Customers wanted more carryout specials, so now we've got one that runs every week.
Every week?
Every week.
Patrick, I love you, but you're killing me.
This is GTN News, working for you in Gainesville, Lake City, Trenton, and Archer.
Well, the United States facing Sweden today in the Women's World Cup. The U.S. needing only a draw to win the group and avoid tournament favorites Brazil in the quarterfinals. Let's go to Germany for the action. And Pia Sundhage, Well, she played on the Swedish national team, but the United States paying her to coach, so she probably was rooting for the United States today. Unfortunately, in the first half, Lisa Dahlqvist converts the penalty kick. It's 1-0 Sweden. Then later, off the free kick, a deflection, Hope Solo, the goal keeper, getting hockey confused with soccer here. It's 2-0. Second half, there's the former Gator Abby Wambach with the goal. It's 2-1, and another chance to tie it up here as Kelly O'Hara misses and the United States loses 2-1, so they'll face Brazil on Sunday in the World Cup quarterfinals. Toni Kadic scored 21 points to lead Croatia to an 87-85 victory over the United States on Wednesday. A nice throwdown by Patrick Young. It was the first loss of the tournament in the FIBA Under-19 World Championship. The U.S. will still remain the top seed in the medal round. Florida Gator Patrick Young had 15 points. The Rays and Twins this afternoon, Francisco Liriano on the hill from Minnesota, and he was having some control problems, or he doesn't like Johnny Damon. He plunks him twice in 2 at-bats. Damon not too thrilled about it, but he saunters to first base. 5-5 in the 8th, Evan Longoria with the base hit. Sam Fold comes home to score. It's 6-5. And then in the 9th inning, you've got Longoria at the plate again with 2 on, and he crushes the home run, a 3-run shot to cap the scoring. Tampa Bay wins this one, your final 12-5. The Braves and Brian McCann looking to continue their dominance of the Rockies in this series. McCann already up 1-0 in the first. He doubles to the gap. Alex Gonzalez scores later in the inning. Eric Hinsky singles to right. That's going to bring McCann home, and it is a 3-0 game. Bottom of the 3rd, Chipper going to opposite field with 1 on, and that also gets out of the ballpark. So it's a 5-0 game for Jair Jurgens, who moves to 12-3 on the season. His ERA is under 2. Dan Ugla homers for the 2nd straight night. He might be catching fire, which would be a big thing for the Braves. 9-1 is your final. 2 weeks from today, Will Muschamp will get his first taste of SEC Media Days. The unofficial kickoff to college football season in the South is right around the corner. That doesn't mean we can't talk some pigskin today. GTN's Joe Gervin gets some thoughts on the upcoming season from one of the biggest names on the newsstand.
For 3 decades now, Lindy's College Football Preview has been one of the best ways to get ready for the upcoming season. I had a chance to ask the man himself about the 2011 Gators.
Well, Florida's still got a lot of talent. I mean, you know, Florida has recruited very well. As you know, had the #1 recruiting class a year ago, and Urban Meyer recruited well. So there's talent there. It's just untested talent. Florida is really probably the biggest question mark in the country. As you said, they don't have a lot of starters back, probably less than anybody. Got the quarterback issue, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. So they definitely have a lot of issues, but we base it basically just a lot of young talent. We do think Charlie Weiss will make a difference offensively, and they'll get things straightened out. Obviously had a lot of offensive problems last year. So I would say it's more the talent level than anything else. The talent's there. It's just unproven at this point.
How much of a difference do you think Charlie Weiss will make in terms of turning around John Brantley's career at the University of Florida? He struggled a year ago,
sure.
And now in the right style of offense, his final season, you think it'll be better?
Well, it's got to be better, right? It was a terrible last year, so I'm sure it'll be better. Charlie Weiss will make a difference. He's a great offensive mind. You know, whether they gel, how much they gel this year, time will tell.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk to Lindy about what Florida's got on the defensive side of the ball and where the Gators might finish in the SEC East. For now, in the WRUF Sports Radio 850 studios, I'm Joe Gervin, GTN Sports.
All right, we'll look forward to that as the Gators certainly, you can't say that they're not going to win the SEC East, but it might be a little tougher this year. New coach, new offensive coordinator.
Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Up next, taking the heat off your budget during these hot summer months. Ways to keep that energy bill down.
If you're battling a bad cold this summer, you're not alone. Why warm weather colds can be harder to beat than the ones you catch in winter.
My Florida Showcase.
Gorgeous, huh?
Yeah, it's really unique.
Hitch a ride with us and get an up-close look at some of the most unique businesses around Gainesville and the people behind them.
And make sure you give me a doggy bag with some of those conch fritters, okay?
A Monet.
Monet.
Wow, I love Monet.
I love Monet too. Let Zach and Ashley show you some of the greatest places that you'll want to visit in North Central Florida.
You know, young lady, it's time for me to hop up on old Rory here and ride off into the sunset.
Be sure to catch My Florida Showcase.
I went to prison for Billy.
Why would you do something like that?
He had a son.
I can't imagine how much you'd have to love Billy to do what you did.
Don't go.
New Friday Night Lights, Friday 8/7 Central on NBC.
Your GTN Community Planner is brought to you by Palm Gainesville Chevrolet Cadillac Mazda. Bring the kids to the Hogtown Pet a Reptile program, and they will get a chance to feed a big tortoise, watch a snapping turtle eat, hold a snake, and much more. The fun starts July 9th at 10 a.m. Visit HogtownReptileshop.net for more info. Musical Me Theater presents Disney's Aladdin Jr. on July 9th at the BK Young Performing Arts Center. Showtimes are 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. There'll also be a silent auction with the proceeds benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Visit musicalmetheater.com for more info. Join us for the Summer Fun Family Fishing Day on July 16th at the UF grounds of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. The event is free and begins at 8 a.m. Call 392-5283 for more info. Join us for the 5th Annual Haven Hospice Antique Roadshow and Donation Roundup on July 16th. Come shop our exclusive antique showcase and dust off the antiques and treasures from your attic and donate them to the Haven Attic. Visit havenhospice.org for more info. Send your events to this email address.
We simply invite family and friends to come share a little of our sunshine. We make our future brighter than ever. Send an invite at sharealittle.sunshine.org.
Imagine how much more beautiful your home could be with colored mulch from Griffiths Lumber. It's safe for pets and children. The color retains its beauty for 8 to 12 months, and mulch is great for your home environment. Griffiths colored mulch will help control weeds in flower gardens and keep soil temperatures cool to protect tender roots while aiding in water retention. And buying in bulk from Griffiths Lumber is much cheaper than by the bag. Find out what to use, where to use it, and how much to use at Griffiths Lumber on North 441 in Gainesville.
Keeping cool can cost you money as energy bills rise right along with summer temperatures. Amanda Decker has tips for cutting your air conditioning costs this summer.
When the temperature rises outside, so can the amount of energy you use inside as air conditioners work to cool things down. The Department of Energy recommends keeping the thermostat around 78 degrees Fahrenheit when you're home, since a smaller difference between your indoor temperature and the heat outdoors will lead to less energy spent and a lower energy bill. Keep it warmer inside when you leave, too. And when you arrive home and want to cool the house down quickly, avoid the temptation to set your thermostat at a very chilly setting. It does not cool the room any faster and will only result in unnecessary expenses. Keep lamps, TV sets, and other appliances away from thermostats if possible. They can absorb heat and make the air conditioner run longer than necessary. Avoid unnecessary heat buildup indoors by cutting your use of appliances that generate a lot of heat. Use a microwave instead of the oven to cook meals. Don't start the dishwasher until you have a full load, and turn off televisions when you're not watching. And your hot water heater can actually account for as much as 25% of the energy that's consumed in your home, so turn the setting down during the summer months. I'm Amanda Decker reporting.
We usually associate getting a cold or the flu with winter weather, but it turns out summer colds can actually be worse. Manuel Gallegos explains why.
Ellen Cohane's summer is off to a lousy start with a miserable cold.
I started with kind of a scratchy throat, and then my nose started running.
Turns out the cold and flu viruses that make us sick in the winter often combine with other warm weather viruses in the summer, including a nasty bug called the enterovirus. Doctors say that combination can cause stomach problems and a cough that just won't go away. It can last longer and is more likely to come back.
It really taxes the immune system more. They're more run down, and I think that's what's making it last longer.
Doctors also say that trying to get back into shape too fast after a long winter can also run us down and make us more susceptible to summer viruses. Air conditioning and recirculated air on planes also spread virus. And sometimes those colds are actually allergies.
Most of the time people don't even realize they have allergies, so they think it's a cold.
So how can you ward off a summer sickness? Wash your hands often, get plenty of sleep, and stay hydrated. After 2 weeks, Ellen Cohane is finally feeling better.
Next week I'm already planning activities, things to do.
And ready for a better late than never start to summer. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, New York.
So will we get any relief from the heat?
Kyle will let us know when we get back.
Audiences just can't get enough of Suds, the rockin' 60s musical soap opera at the Hippodrome Theater. Whether date night, girls' night out, or a family staycation, everyone loves those favorite tunes from the 60s like Respect, Please Mr. Postman, and You Can't Hurry Love. So the Hippodrome is holding over through July. It may be hot outside, but the Hip is in the 60s all summer long. So put a smile on your face. Book your tickets now at 375-HIPP and thehip.org.
I've been working at a Domino's store since 1986. I bleed for this company. But this carryout deal, ridiculous.
The deal is you can get large 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 carryout Monday through Wednesday.
That's crazy.
I'm not crazy.
This pizza's worth at least twice what we're charging for it.
Customers wanted more carryout specials, so now we've got one that runs every week.
Every week?
Every week.
Patrick, I love you, but you're killing me.
Your life changes in a split second. And who cares? The insurance company? The other driver? The big company that may break the rules? For over 50 years, Avery Smith has cared for Florida's families who have been injured. Getting you help quickly is always our first priority. I'm Mark Avery. If you've been hurt in an accident, give us a call. We can help get what you deserve. So who cares? We do.
News is always happening in North Central Florida. Your stories are our stories. Don't miss a beat with GTN News Extra, bringing you something extra. Extra coverage and in-depth looks at the stories that matter most to you. Catch GTN News Extra on NBC 9, Sunday at 11 a.m., 6 and 11 p.m. Working for you, GTN News.
Florida lawmakers will redraw the state's legislative and congressional boundary lines. This redistricting process happens once every 10 years. State representatives and senators will visit more than 24 cities across the state of Florida to receive input from citizens before they make decisions about redistricting. Visit www.floridaredistricting.org to learn more about public input meetings in your area. Florida Redistricting, it's your community. Tell us your story.
This is GTN News, working for you in Newberry, Cross City, Lake Butler, and Fort White.
If you're wondering what is that, well, I'll tell you. It's a cross between a zebra and a donkey. And one has just been born at a zoo in southeast China.
Oh, look at how cute. A donkra is the offspring of a female zebra and a male donkey. It looks like both parents. Its size and eyes similar to a donkey, and its legs, of course, you can see striped like a zebra.
All right, we're headed to southeast China. Let's go see it.
Let's go see the little donkra. That's interesting.
It looks cool.
Maybe a more original name.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right.
You know, in the age of Photoshop, it's hard to be impressed by pictures anymore.
Is it real?
You never know.
It is. All right, let's talk about the weather.
And it looks like storms continue tomorrow. We didn't really see much here in Gainesville today, but I think we have a better chance tomorrow and an even better chance on Friday when some storms could be strong or severe. We'll keep our eye on that. 93 for the high Saturday, 94 on Sunday. Monday, unfortunately, looks like the best day in the forecast comes after the weekend.
The best day. It's like the same day.
I'm still thinking about that.
Fewer storms.
How about a Zeke?
Zeke?
I like that better.
It's not bad.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching.
Look for more animals for you tomorrow. Enjoy your night.
It's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Featuring Ricky Minor and The Tonight Show Band. Tonight, Jay welcomes Amazing Animals with Julie Scardina. From Weeds, Mary Louise Parker. The music of Billy Ray Cyrus. And Jaywalking.